Hi, you guys. I'm coming to you today to talk with you about verbal and nonverbal cues you will get with narcissistic conversations. When you have a narcissist in your life, be prepared that these are some of the phrases often heard and body languages that you will see during the discussion or before. Usually this happens during the devalue stage of the relationship before the discard. So when you're speaking with somebody and you have an issue you're going to bring to them, you usually just come across as, is there a reason that this kind of went this way, that you talked to Sharon, say you guys are at a dinner party and you felt that he was giving most of his attention to Sharon, and there's a couple times you tried to intervene or join the conversation and it didn't really go so well. So, they're going to make you self-doubt. He may say to her, "Are you sure that's what happened?" I'm pretty sure that didn't happen. He also may try to do with his partner is change topics very quickly. Like, wasn't this supposed to be over here yesterday? Start, trying to just take the focus off the questioning and evade, any kind of accountability. I think you're misremembering something. I'm pretty sure that's probably what it is. So, if you kind of lose your cool and you just get upset or you run away into the bedroom, it's, or you even get in your car and you go somewhere, he'll text you, or he'll call you on the phone. You're getting upset about a misunderstanding. You're running away over a disagreement. It's a minor disagreement, you're overreacting. When really this person really wasn't acknowledging your truth or your feelings in the conversation, that he unsettled you so much that you had to physically leave the situation. Another way they can do it is talk about, that is so ridiculous that you think that, but even if I did, means they did it, or they're doing it, or they're thinking about doing it, and they're planning to, somehow, some way, with whatever the situation is. Even if I did, it's not as bad as you inviting unwanted guests to my house that I let you be at, that we were trying to have a future in, and you messed it up by inviting the wrong people without my say-so because you can't have any friends. How are you supposed to know, right? Just getting to know each other, moving in too quickly. Usually those types of situations do happen. That was just an example. You're making stuff up again. It's all in your head. I'm sure it is, right? It's only because things happen and only one person wants to see the truth of what is really going on, right? So, again, when we talk about even if I did, or even if I did, it's not that bad, you're overreacting, it still leads to lies, and denial, which is where narcissists like to live a lot of their life, believe it or not. How do you think that way? Do you think that if I was cheating, or that did happen, I would be a lot happier to be around you all the time? I mean, my gosh, men that have affairs on the outside of the marriage usually have happier marriages, right? Wrong. But see, we're talking to people that don't have any morals or values. We're talking to people that really don't think the rules apply to them. So anytime that we are asking questions, they actually take a hit on their character. They can't deal with accountability or responsibility, and they actually get the two confused, believe it or not. So in the midst of trying to ask somebody what the problem is, you can also expect to hear, "If you can be civil, I'll talk to you, but you've proven so many times that you just can't be." What he's really saying is, due to my circular conversation, word salad, distractions, not giving you the right answers or even paying attention to the questions and showing I care, you're never going to get a resolution here, and I'm going to make sure of it. So the next one is, how can you keep doing this to me? How can you think that way? How can you, after all I've done, if he is the primary provider, that doesn't allow somebody to mistreat you? And he's saying, by being a primary provider, you have to take the shit I'm giving, which is total crap. You should not listen to that for a minute. Well, I've got to go take a shower now. Well, I've got to go meditate. Well, I've got to get the dishes done. What is it that you need? Just act like you're an annoyance. Act like you're an inconvenience. It's wrong for you just to even be existing right now in their bubble. So, anyway, yup, okay, sure, whatever you say. Yep, if that's what you want to believe. You'll get those answers too, just talking to the wall. And that's not right either. Now, when we're talking and all this is going on, the interactions with each other, you'll notice that they start to take on some strange nonverbal behaviors that are basically due to them trying to defend, because they're always in a defensive mode if there's a question or some kind of conflict or any kind of confrontation. Oh my God, they're just armed for that, right? So the eyes are going to be darting around the room. They might stand there like this. If they're sitting in a chair, and they go like, oh. Yeah, whatever you need me to say. And they just give you this blank, stare of nothing, yawning, making excuses. Oh, my back hurts today. Why can't you come over here and help me out? I had a long night. I had to deal with my parents. I had this happen at work and nobody understands me. Making himself the victim. All of a sudden, then he's pacing around the room, back and forth, just kind of talking like he's not even really talking to me, but explaining like he's on a stage or a situation to a crowd almost, not even directly engaging with me personally. So he would be over here pacing, and I would be sitting here watching him pace like I was just sitting at a stage at an audience, right? And that was very bizarre and weird as well. Then, he would begin to get very sweaty. He'd begin to get very hot. I don't know why that would be. Using hands and aggression to get his point across. Why can't you just believe me? He could pin you to the floor and put your arms up. Why don't you just listen? Why can't you just trust me? Out of nowhere. And it's like, wow. Because I asked about somebody texting his phone that was a woman, that was the extreme reaction I got, which is really irrational, folks. Nobody should jump to a conclusion and then get up like nothing happened and continue on. Wow. That was my first red flag living with a narcissist that he had done to me at his house after I shortly had moved in. Anyway, then we're talking about no eye contact. Our eyes just, are all over the room all the time. Let's look at my phone, and then if they do look at you, they look at you like this. Do you really think I did it? Do you really think so? Almost like, and you're in tears, or you're really upset, and they have no empathy about them whatsoever for your pain. That's how you know you're dealing with somebody that's not normal, that's almost dehumanized, okay? So then, it's like they're trying not to laugh when they're putting on this performance to you over a confrontation that you caused, and they'll almost sometimes have a finger they're pointing in your face sometimes to get their point across, because they figure if there's a finger there, you're going to listen more, right? Then they're serious, which is really ridiculous to have a finger, right? It's rude. So then, their posture, is usually pretty poor posture. Either they're slumped down in a chair, or they're just, hunched over like this, and they sit on the edge of the bed and they watch TV, for endless hours, comedies, talk shows. And a lot of the time, if you're in the same room with them, their whole posture will kind of be towards the door. Their feet will be towards the door. We won't have open, nonverbal cues towards you. It'll be closed off cues. It'll be even with the feet toward the door. The whole body says to leave the room. Usually standing up to explain, they'll take a a stance of superiority to have to stand up to talk to you. Meanwhile, you're sitting down, but they're, far away from you, at least 3 or 4 feet, explaining their side of the story, never just directly to you, because I don't think they really feel that comfortable being in close proximity with somebody, just in general, when telling their lies and trying to stretch the truth and making you believe something that they know is not the truth. So a loud tone of voice, if you're not buying it, if you're not going along with it, gets to be obnoxious. They can even use physical abuse to get you to listen to them, to settle down, to correct your behavior, like almost a constable. Mocking you with your feelings, mocking you with, just being defiant, just ignoring you, just one-word answers, just acting like this is not important, this is a waste of time. Storming out, actually, if you refuse to give up on your point, is, slamming the door, messing with your belongings. They'll send you hateful text messages after you're already in tears on the floor, and they will continue to have that moment of victory, because then they're going to block you for the night because they probably plan to leave anyway, or they have always somewhere else to go. Never think because they're in your presence they're not thinking about other people when you're with you, or plotting and planning a way to destroy you, because that is what I've learned being around these people. I have had 3 narcissistic relationships. One is with my mother, one is with 2 other guys. So I have a lot of experience with this, and I've even tested my tactics, and we will get into that in later videos. So anyways, with all of these points to be given, I really hope they were helpful. If you have any feedback, please tell me in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you again. Rosina Starr.